Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bootleg presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. I'm your host, Tom Kreager with the Tennessean. This is our last week of the regular season, and we've got a dandy of a week. Playoff seeds will be determined this week. Game of the week will be Nashville Christian at Donaldson Christian Academy. Going to be joined on the Bootleg by DCA football coach Paul Wade. Again, is playing for the region championship. Joined now by Paul Wade here on the Bootleg presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Coach
Hey,
Wade,
Tom, how you doing?
Doing well, Coach. Thanks for joining the show. It's a beautiful week. I'm sure you're looking forward to that forecast Friday night.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
We'll jump right into it. Y'all are 8-1, 4-0, playing host to Nashville Christian, who's 8-1, 4-0. Big game for y'all. Just to be playing for a region championship in week 11. That's what y'all want to be. This is what the goal was all year.
Well, to be honest, we really don't have goals. The thing we talk about is get to the playoffs and be the highest seeded team that we can be. If that's first or that's fourth or whatever, we don't talk too much about it. The kids don't really know a whole lot about the bracket and what's going on because I don't say much about it. Our goal is just to get to the playoffs. We talk about the year being in 3 seasons. Week 1 through 5 is season 1. Week 6 through 10 is season 2, and then the playoffs is season 3. And we want to be our best when we get to season 3.
Coach, you have really kind of flipped the script here since your first year. 2018 is a year we probably don't really want to talk about. You all had some growing pains, I think some numbers were a little low. But then to come back the next year, 8-4, went to the quarterfinals last year, undefeated regular season, finished 11-1 and made it to the semifinals. And now you got to hope that maybe this team is ready for that next step.
Well, you always like to think that every year in a transition process it's going to be better and better. That first year was absolutely the most miserable football year. But as far as a humbling experience and learning a lot about myself and learning a lot about how to coach, it was probably really one of my best years. And I know that's kind of cliche to say when it went as bad as it did, but I mean, there couldn't have been anything else worse happen. Usually when you take over a program that had just been to a state championship game, you think that the roster is going to be in shape and kids are ready to roll. And ironically, I inherited a roster with about 19 kids on that first day and played on the kickoff team in the championship game, and that was it. So we started the process of spring practice in June with 22 positions having absolutely zero Friday night game experience. So to be where we are tonight is exciting. It's a testament to our kids, our coaches, and how hard we've all worked.
I was just looking at that 2018 season. You guys didn't get a win. I think the most points you guys scored in a game is 19 points. I say that to say, looking at this year, my quick math says you guys are averaging about 44.3 points a game. The offense has evolved tremendously over the last 3 seasons.
It has, and we have a sponsor who donates money for first down that we get for home games, and for the first time in the tenure they've been doing that, they did not reach their max because we didn't have enough first downs at home to receive the full donation from that program. Ironically, the first home game that we had in 2019, we had more first downs in that game than we had the entire season at home the year before. So that's what you like to see. You like to see the growth. You like to see the kids get better. And obviously when they start tasting a little bit of success, things tend to roll. I hung up a sign the first day I was here in the locker room that says, if you want something you've never achieved, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And we talk about that because none of these kids had ever done anything. And, last year or 2 years ago was the first playoff win, or the first playoff start that any kid on that team ever played in. So that was exciting. And to be where we are, facing Nashville Christian, we're looking for an exciting, fun atmosphere.
And I got to bring up the point. A year ago, you guys basically ended up having a brand new facility after the tornado came through. I've kind of seen the rebuild. I haven't been in that stadium since it's been complete. I'm really looking forward to Friday night with the rebuild. Can you talk about the facilities? And obviously it was disaster that hit the campus, but from what I've seen pictures of, the facilities look beautiful now.
I think I heard most of your question there, Tom. Yeah, everything's come together real nice. It's taken a while with all the debris and glass and stuff that was embedded in the field. FEMA came in and helped us out with the new turf. I call it turf. It's natural turf, and all the fencing was gone, so there's all new fencing. The press box was completely lifted off the stands and tossed to about the 50 yard line into about pieces. Most of the bleachers were ripped off of the concrete frame that they're on. Fortunately, our bleachers themselves, because of how old and how they were made back in the day with full concrete, they weren't destroyed, but the seats were actually ripped off in many places. The concession stand, hospitality center, because it sits in a floodplain, actually has concrete walls. So the wall stood, but the entire roof and all the occupants inside it were vacuumed out during that storm. So all that stuff had to be replaced. The press box, we switched to the home side for the first time back to it was probably the late 70s when the tiny press box was on that side. It's not a prefab building. It's a stick frame building. So it's an unbelievable building that we're excited for you guys and media get to see Friday when they come over. But the campus is coming together. The goal is to have preschool through 5th grade back on campus to start in January and to get out of the church locations that they're in right now. So when you get here Friday, it'll look totally different than it was those days you came by after the storm.
All right, Coach. This season, obviously, you got to have the Jimmies and the Joes, and you guys definitely have the players right now. You've got an experienced quarterback in Bradford Gaines. You got a good running back in Sneed. Strong offensive line. Just this offense. We'll start with offense. This offense really has played well for you this season.
Yeah, these guys have done well, and I told a guy the other day when he asked me, they've gotten a lot. Bradford's a 2-year starter. He's had an incredible season. He's on the verge of breaking a few school records. Ashton Jones is a running back. He's just a sophomore. He played a lot for us last year, so him returning to take over that realm from John Lewis is at Birmingham Southern. He's got over 1,300 yards and 18 touchdowns, so he's done a great job. Brady Russell, our fullback, the guard in the backfield, if you will, he's done a great job lead blocking. Four of the junior starters started the day we moved them up as 8th graders in that 2018 year. So that's how limited we were, as you put it, with the Jimmies and Joes in 18. So 4 of those juniors have started for 4 years. So they've got a lot of experience. The offensive line's gelled nicely, headed by Senior Aiden Francis, who's a 4-year starter. So, to have some experience up there is great. And then to throw in a few pieces, we're senior heavy, which is a good and a bad thing because you got guys who got experience, but you start thinking about the future and how you replace these guys, and that's going to be a tall task for us then. But Dayton Sneed leads up the receiving corps. He's got over 750 yards of Bradford's 1,700 yards that he's stoned for. So those guys have created a nice connection, and we just feel like we're finally rolling to a point to where the kids understand what we're doing. We're having some of our best practices that we've had in the 4 years that I've been here. And obviously, when you get to that point, it makes things run just a little bit more smooth.
And talk about your defense. I mean, they got a tough challenge against a Nashville Christian team that's done a great job putting things together as well. Coach Jeff Brothers does a great job there. What's the key for this defense?
Well, for Friday night, the key is going to be stop the run. Coach Brothers does a great job. He and I coached together back in the day at CPA. In a lot of their games that it was obvious that they were going to win, like most coaches do. He started working on a bunch of stuff that he's probably not going to use against us, but stuff that he may need later on in the playoff run, or may have to come up against somebody that needs to get a big first down. So he's not just handing the ball off to those two speedsters that he has. But the goal for us will be stop the run. Our defense is led by Brady Russell and Gunnar Sherling at linebacker. Those guys head up our scheme, get us lined up, and we've. I'm not going to say we're super fast to the ball because it's never good enough for me, but we do move around pretty good. Again, having a lot of kids who played, having a third row of experienced guys back there helps in the passing game. Us getting beat at Silverdale was probably a good thing. We'd beat them the 2 previous years, and to be honest, we overlooked them. We had our worst practice of the year. I told them on Wednesday. I told them on Tuesday when we get beat, I was going to remind them about Tuesday's practice. And after Wednesday's practice, I told them that when we get beat, I would remind them about Wednesday's practice. And after we got beat on Friday, I reminded them about those 2 practices. I'm a big preparation guy. You can't have fun on Friday unless you put your work in on Monday through Thursday. And that week we didn't do it. But the defense has done a great job. We're not looking to get shutouts. We're looking to stop them when we've got to stop them. If they go on a 15-play drive, we're okay with that as long as they don't score. If they go on a three and out, we like that too. So, we're going to run the clock. We're going to shorten the game, and on defense as well by playing sound run defense, and then hoping that you don't beat us over the top.
How much do you tell your team that's not yet start thinking about the playoffs? We still got work to do.
We talk about it every day. We don't talk about the playoffs at all. We talk about season 3 and getting to that point. But we talk every day about getting better. Tell them that you're only as good as your last rep. And yesterday we had a really good Monday practice. Our Monday practices are aggressive. We do everything but team. So we're not doing walkthroughs and helmets only and special teams and that stuff. We're doing a full-fledged practice. So yesterday was a great day for us. I'm a firm believer that kids have got to watch film. Kids have got to participate hard in practice. We have a no cramp rule in games. If you cramp in a game, that just signifies to us that you haven't practiced hard that week. Because if you don't cramp in practice, you shouldn't be cramping in the game, because the game is designed to be an atmosphere of fun and a reward for the hard work for the week. So, we don't need you laying on your back with your leg up in the air. If that happens, we want it to happen on Wednesday, and we know that you've put the work in to be ready for Friday. So yes, we talk about getting better every day.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Big game at DCA, folks. I believe it is a 7 o'clock kickoff, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so 7 o'clock Friday night, Nashville Christian at Donaldson Christian Academy. Winner is the Division II Single A Middle Region champion. The loser will be second. Both teams are in the playoffs, but the big game at DCA. And Coach, appreciate it. We'll see you Friday night on the field.
All right, Tom. Thanks for having me in.
All right, folks. That has been Paul Wade, high school football coach at DCA. Our game of the week is at DCA. 8-1, 4-0 in the region. They play 8-1, 4-0 Nashville Christian. Something will change. We will see what happens Friday night. That's the game I'll be at, and going to break that down a little more with Joe Spears, where we're going to talk about that game in the other 9 top 10 games for Week 11 in the Nashville area. Of course, you're watching the Bootleg presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. We want to thank them for their support. We can't do shows like this without their support. Joined now by Joe Spears.
How's it going, Tom?
Doing well. Give me an update. What's the standings?
We are tied. It was a rough week for me. I went 4-6. You went 6-4. So we are back to being even.
We both had rough weeks, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot of toss-up games last week that just kind of went one way or another. So it was a good week for games, though. So I think it was kind of humbled both of us after we had that really good Week 9.
I gotta tell you, Joe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't remember a week I went 4-6 though.
Yeah, well,
5-5 maybe, but not 4-6.
It happens.
Yeah, hopefully you'll do better this week, but not that much better.
Right.
All right, game of the week just was joined by Paul Wade, Donaldson Christian Academy football coach. Of course, they are the site of our game of the week, Nashville Christian School, 8-1, 4-0 in Division 2A. Middle region, they're at DCA, 8-1, 4-0, 7 o'clock kickoff. We kind of talked at length with Coach Wade, but hey, now's your time. Break this game, in your opinion, break this game down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of envious of you going to this one. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Both these teams put up a lot of points. You look at their schedules. I think Nashville Christians played a little tougher schedule. I mean, BGA, Davidson Academy, those are both really good teams. They beat Davidson Academy pretty handily, I believe. DCA has that loss to Silverdale. So, I mean, and that's a Silverdale team that's playing really well this year. I mean, I think the key in this game is obviously, DCA has to stop Josh Strickland. He's run for almost 1,200 yards, 23 touchdowns. He's having a heck of a year. And Tyler Morris at quarterback for Nashville Christians played well. Also, he's thrown for 1,000 yards with 13 touchdowns. I think in the end, though, Bradford Gaines' ability to stretch the field in the passing game is going to be what's key for DCA here. He's having a great year, 1,800 yards passing. He's done really well, and he's protected the ball. I think he makes enough plays in this one. DCA gets this huge region win. They take the top spot. I've got DCA winning this 27-24.
I agree. I think Bradford Gaines is one of the difference makers. I think the defense makes a couple stops, enough stops on Nashville Christian, and the question may be the Wildcat question may simply be how rain and who's going to be affected more by the rain. Does that affect DCA's passing attack if it's raining pretty hard Friday night? Obviously they've got kids that can run the football as well. But I'm like you. I think DCA wins this game. I'm picking DCA 28-21 over Nashville Christian. Game you'll be at, Smith County 5-4, 3-0 in Region 5-3A. They travel to East Nashville, 5-4, 3-0. Biggest game of both coaches, Coach Dyer and Jamal Stewart at East Nashville. Biggest game of their early coaching careers.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned East Nashville's record. They're 5-4. They've played a gauntlet this year if you really look at it. I mean, Their losses are to Father Ryan, a really good Green Hill team I saw last week. They can put up points. Independence, obviously, we know about their offense. And then last week against Riverdale, I mean, East Nashville had that game tied at 0 at halftime with Riverdale, we look at them as one of the top teams in 6A. They ended up coming out with a 20-7 win, I believe. This East Nashville team, they're battle-tested, and when it comes to region play, they're winning by almost 36 points per game. The Stratford game was their closest. The other two games, they really had no issues. On the other side of that, Smith County's been really good as well in region play. They're winning by 28 points. They won all 3 region games by double digits. I think this game being at East Nashville, and then you mentioned the weather component. I mean, they're both going to run the ball. East Nashville, they've always got guys that can run the ball, though. I'm going to go with East Nashville in this one. I think they pull away with a late touchdown. I've got them winning 28-17.
We're in a bad way. We're agreeing too much already. I'm with you. I think this is a tight game. This is a weather game will be. I think because of that, it'll be low scoring. I go East Nashville 21, Smith County 20. Next game on the docket: Overton 6-3, 4-1, 6-6A. They travel to Smyrna, who's 6-2. 4-1. This is for second place in the region. Winner second, losers third. Winner gets to host a playoff game. So there is quite a bit riding on this.
Yeah, and I mean, Overton's had a great year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Javon Edmondson, Ryder Hagan, Delaney Major. They've been. It seems like every week we have them in our top performers list because they're putting up massive numbers. A big thing that's going to be the key here, though, is the Overton defense. Can they slow down Arion Carter? He's been incredible over the Bulldogs' last 2 games. Almost 500 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's kind of just been shredding every defense he goes against. I think Smyrna's played maybe a little tougher of a schedule, too. I think that could help out. And, again, weather-wise, we're running the ball, it seems like. I think Smyrna runs the ball well. Arion Carter has another big game. Smyrna 28, Overton 21.
I think you hit it on the head. I think the rain. This is a game where, look, when I see the stats each week, the Hagen kid has had a great year. I mean, every time I turn around, he's throwing for 200, 300 yards. But this is not the unknown of the weather. I think this is where this is a ground game. This is what Smyrna does. Matt Williams does a heck of a job there. I think they run the football, and I think they win this game 35-27. To get second place in Region 6A. This game here has been moved up to Thursday. That's Montgomery Central, 8-1, 6-1 in 5-4A. They go to Pearl Cone, who's 8-1, 6-1. Winners second, losers third. Again, second place, you host a playoff game. Third place, you're going to go on the road. But we'll see what happens there. The big question I think I have is what you have. Will Barry and Brown play?
Yeah, I mean that's the key here. It sounds like they really need him to play. I mean, you were at the Greenbrier game. That offense just wasn't clicking as well without him. And Montgomery Central, huge surprise this year. We haven't really talked about him as much, but this defense, the only time they've given up more than 20 points in a game is in that loss to Tullahoma. Last week they played really well, got that win against Marshall County. I think I may have picked a score that's a little too high for this one. I think Pearl with the ground game, even if Berrien is not playing, I think they could do a little damage. It being at home, Pearl's going to want to host a playoff game. I think their defense as well. I think they've got too many guys on defense that'll keep Montgomery Central out of the end zone. I've got Pearl Cone winning this one 27-14.
Okay. I'm not so sure finishing third in this region may not be a completely horrible thing because you potentially stay away from Haywood or Hardin County? Stay away from Hardin County?
Hardin County in the second round, yeah.
Yeah, you stay away from Hardin County. Now, the bad thing is you'd have to play potentially play Tullahoma, which has beaten both teams. But Hardin County looks like a team that's really playing well. You kind of know by now what Tullahoma can do. So, I mean, it may not be a horrible thing. I think this team, though, if they're going to have Berrien in the playoffs, they need to have Berrien this week.
Right.
And reason why I say that is You don't want to go in there with back-to-back games without your bell cow, without, because you got to be able to know, get back in the groove of what you're like with him there. But if he's not healthy, he's not healthy. But I picked Pearl Cone in this game. Again, it's a tight game. I'll be at that game on Thursday, kind of hoping that the rain somehow goes all the way around Pearl Cone. I'm picking Pearl Cone 21-17 over a much improved Montgomery Central. That I got to tell you, they surprised me last week against Marshall County. That was a huge win for that program last week to put them in this position. Next game, going to Class 1A, Clay County 9-0, 2-0 in 4-1A. At Gordonsville, 8-1, 2-0. This is one of those 4-team regions that everyone just loves to talk about when all 4, of course, make the playoffs. This is winners first, losers second. Joe, go ahead and break this one down for me.
Yeah, I mean, Clay County, you look at what they've done this year. They're having maybe one of their best seasons in school history. They're off to this great start. They've only allowed 67 points for the entirety of the season. That's pretty incredible. And offensively, they're averaging close to 35 points. So, they're having a great season. Gordonsville got back on track last week. They put up 50 in a win over Red Bowling Springs. Matthew Albrighton's having a great year. They bounced back from that narrow loss to Trousdale County. They took Trousdale County to the wire. Gordonsville won both of these meetings last year, and they were really close. I think this one's another close one. I'm going to go with Gordonsville on this one, though. I got them winning 20-17.
We agree again, I hate to say. I think Gordonsville wins a close one. I'm going very low scoring. I'm going Gordonsville 14, Clay County 7. Next game, let's go up to 2A. Lewis County 7-2, 4-0 in Region 6 2A. They travel to Riverside. That's Decatur Riverside, home of the great Adam Sparks, now the Tennessee Vols beat writer for the Knoxville News Sentinel and the South region here. Riverside's 8-1, 4-0. It's again, winner gets first, loser gets second.
Yeah, this has turned into a fun little rivalry between the schools, honestly. Lewis County, they've won the last 2 regular season matchups, but Riverside the last 3 years has knocked Lewis County out of the playoffs. So, interesting little stat there. Lewis County kind of entering this game off of a shocker. They lost to Summertown in a really low-scoring game last Thursday. They got to get that loss out of their heads immediately because this Riverside team is playing really well. Their only loss is to Huntington, who just ended Peabody's streak. So it's not a bad loss at all. Riverside's got Bryce Hernandez at quarterback. He's thrown for 1,400 yards. He's played really well since Johnny Frost put him as quarterback. Blake Carroll's also had a great year rushing the ball. I think Riverside, I think Sparks will like my pick here. I think Riverside ends that regular season losing streak to Lewis County, though. I've got them winning 21-16.
The streak means something. Lewis County will win this game 21-14 over Riverside. We've got a difference of opinion here. I just think they've had their number in the regular season, and that will continue this season. Waverly, perhaps the best story of the playoffs, at 7-1, 4-1 in Region 6 3A. At Fairview, 6-3, 4-1. This is for second or third. Again, as we keep hitting back, you win this game, you're going to get a home game. And a home game in the playoffs means something most times, but if Waverly wins this, I don't know where they're going to play at home. They'll have to play somewhere else or just go on the road. Of course, their facilities were destroyed in the flood. So we'll see what would happen if Waverly did win this game. Go ahead.
Yeah, you really look at what these two teams have done this year. Their only region losses to a really good White House team, and they both lost those games by single digits. So Jacob Dooley's got that Tigers offense humming right now. They've won 4 straight. You look at what Fairview's done. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. The only loss is to White House, like I mentioned. Fairview's played kind of a brutal schedule, though. They've played Page. They've played Westview. They've played White House. They've played a really tough schedule. I think that those experiences are going to pay off in a big way here. I like Fairview in this one. I think it's going to be a great game. I've got Fairview winning 24-23.
Waverly's the team, man. What they've been through, it's hard to pick against Waverly.
Yes.
Which I think that's why the AP voters had them ranked ahead of White House for a long part of the season, even though White House beat Waverly. But anyway, I digress. Waverly 35, Fairview 21. Jacob Dooley is the man there at Waverly, and he'll figure a way to get it done. Going to Division 2, BRIARCREST Christian at 9-0, 4-0 in Division 2, AAA West. They go to Ensworth 6-3, 3-1. BRIARCREST, of course, is guaranteed first with a win. I think for Ensworth to finish second, I think Ensworth would have to win, and MUS would have to beat Brentwood Academy. That would give Ensworth number one if that happened. Otherwise, we'll see. I think it's good BRIARCREST. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Ensworth has kind of struggled the last couple of weeks. They return home. I think that's key here. They've played really well at home. I saw them host MUS, and that was just a total mismatch. MUS isn't a bad team. Ensworth plays really well at home. This was a hard one to pick as well. I mean, BRIARCREST, you look at the results, the similar results between the two teams. BRIARCREST has a narrow win over Christian Brothers. Ensworth had no issues with Christian Brothers. BRIARCREST had a narrow win over Brentwood Academy. Ensworth struggled against Brentwood Academy. I think them being back home and them needing this win, I think Ensworth is going to come out with a win here. I predict a huge game for Shamar Porter. I think it's coming at some point here soon. I think it's this week. I'll take Ensworth in this one, 27-24.
I agree with you. There are some, I think Brentwood Academy is not the Brentwood Academy of week 3 or week 4, whenever they played BRIARCREST. I think they've had some people out. I think they've gotten those people back. I think Jalen Jones has done really remarkably at linebacker in recent weeks. I think don't hold me to this. I believe he was maybe out early in the season, or at least wasn't a big factor. But I've seen him make some big plays late in the season. So I'm like you. I think Ensworth wins this game 28-24 to ruin BRIARCREST a chance at an undefeated regular season. Speaking of Brentwood Academy. Second place is on the line if they win this. Brentwood Academy 6-3, 3-1. They go to MUS, who's 6-3, 2-2. Of course, this is Division 2 AAA West. What do you have?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit on it there. I mean, Brentwood Academy's defense has played really well this season. The offense maybe at times has struggled, but I mean, the defense has been there to pick up any slack. MUS has got Mac Owen at wide receiver. He's really talented, but a lot of questions there as well. I just think Brentwood Academy's defense again does the job here. I've got them winning 20-17.
I agree with that. BA's playing some pretty good football, and since that NBA loss, they've kind of turned it around. BA 27, MUS 21 in this game goes in. They kind of go roaring into the playoffs for them. The last game, another Division 2 AAA, but let's go East Middle. Montgomery Bell Academy 6-3, 3-1. D2 AAA, they are at Knoxville Catholic 5-3, 2-2. This NBA team, I mean, they looked great in week 1, then they kind of lost it, and now they've figured it out and they're playing pretty good football right now. It's just what they've done, and Marty Overard, I say week in and week out and year out, Marty Overard can coach some football. And he's got this NBA team playing really well. At some point, I'm going to get smart and quit picking against them. As someone keeps reminding me, I keep picking against them. I tell them that's good luck. But let's talk about this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick against them this week, it'll do my picks well. I've got NBA in this one, man. I mean, Marcel Reed, Rhett Hales, they're playing great football. They went down to Baylor. That game was close at times, but just you really go back and look at what they did. They were never really in danger of losing that game. They kind of controlled it, which Nashville teams have not done down at Baylor this season. They've won 5 straight, and they go against the Knox Catholic team that, yes, they won last week on an amazing play in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was an incredible play to beat Powell. But the Irish have struggled defensively. I mean, they're giving up 36 points per game. That doesn't bode well against an NBA team that's really clicking on offense right now. So I've got NBA winning 38-24.
Catholic's run game will be tested tremendously this week with Rhett Hales and the rest of their running backs. Marcel Reed, I mean, he's playing very good, smart football. They're not asking him to throw for 300 yards a game. They're not asking him to run for 150 yards a game. They're asking him to just do what you do best. Our run game's going to carry us. You need to make the big throws when it's your turn. And he does a great job. I mean, he's number 10 quarterback in the country for a reason. I mean, he reads everything well and makes plays. I can't pick NBA to lose this week, or I think there are some people that around there that would just they would all block me on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, you won't be able to back
if they haven't already. NBA 28, Catholic 14. I'm trying to get back in good favor with the Big Red Nation.
So I think we have 2 different picks, so that means we'll probably split and be tied again going into the playoffs.
Or I will be up 2 games, one or the other.
It's good to dream.
Yes, the dream is real. Last week of the regular season. Next week, we're probably going to mix it up, and you'll see several new faces talking about the playoffs statewide. Look for that next week. Joined again this week on the Bootleg presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans by Joe Spears. Again, I want to thank our special guest, Paul Wade at DCA. That's where I will be Friday night. I'll also be at PearlCone Thursday. So if you see me, make sure you say hello, and say hello to Joe Spears, who will be at East Nashville. And let me know if you get a fish sandwich there at East Nashville, because I'm still looking for that PearlCone fish sandwich.
Will do.
See you next week.